In Florida, motorcycle accidents are far too common, especially with the increase of distracted drivers on the road. Well, with accidents involving motorcycles on the rise, senior partner of Catania, Peter Catania, is back to share some vital information for both motorcyclists and other drivers. Good morning.
Good morning, Carly. How are you?
Good. I'm going to be completely honest. Motorcycles do scare me. I feel on the road. I've seen lots of accidents, but we know people love them and enjoy riding them, especially here in Florida.
Well, certainly the weather is, is ideal for people who like to, ride, and yeah, there's a big demographic. A lot of people in Florida love to ride and are enthusiasts. So, which
I do understand that, but talk about. I mean, you've seen this. They are dangerous on the roads.
Shoot.
Laws.
So we've represented bikers. Over 25 years, and some of the most serious catastrophic cases involve bikers for obvious reasons. They don't have a lot of protection when an accident does occur, especially versus a motor vehicle. And oftentimes, unfortunately, it involves a head injury. And especially if you're without a helmet, the odds of surviving any kind of significant head injuries is really, against you. Even with a helmet, if the severity of the accident is sufficient, you still, can get a serious head injury.
Well, and again, all states are different. We have a lot of motorcycle drivers here. What are the laws that people should know, kind of when it comes to Florida and the roads?
Yeah, so Florida is different as it relates to motorcycles versus automobiles. So some of the main distinctions between being a biker and getting in an accident and versus a car is the following. One, PIP does not apply to motorcycles. The law, what they call the no-fault law, specifically excludes motorcycles. So there's no insurance requirement to register a motorcycle here in the state of Florida. It does come into play when you decide whether to wear a helmet or not. If you're under the age of 21, by law, you must wear a helmet. If you're over 21, you do not have to wear a helmet. It's at your discretion, but you do have to have some sort of proof of medical insurance on your motorcycle. And I think the minimum probably is $10,000. Okay. It's kind of like a PIP, but it's not. But at least what it shows is that you'll be able to afford medical bills. God forbid you find yourself in an accident. And unfortunately, in the era of distracted driving, especially with texting, as we've talked in the past about, motorcyclists are more at risk than ever. And for some reason, folks who drive cars just don't seem to recognize them. It's also like that with bicyclists and pedestrians.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother subject.
And so I don't know if you've seen, but there's been multiple studies and statistics showing that West Central Florida, as it relates to danger to pedestrians, bicyclists, and bikers, we are among the most dangerous places in the whole country. And the statistics in terms of injury and death to pedestrians, bicyclists, and bikers is much more significant here than it is in almost any other part of the country.
Wow. Little less than a minute left. What's your take home, as people are watching today and you kind of deal with this hot button issue?
Yeah, no, so being a motorcycle enthusiast, a biker, is terrific, right? There's a certain amount of freedom, a sense of being on the road and letting the wind blow over you, etc. It's just beautiful. However, I would tell this to anybody who rides, please wear a helmet. I understand it feels freer and maybe more comfortable not to wear a helmet. But if you can't do it for yourself, do it for your family, because God forbid, even if you're not doing anything wrong, you're simply in the wrong place at the wrong time, the chances of walking away from that motorcycle accident, especially if it's a severe impact, is really slim to none. Yeah, and so most of the time you deal with either the injured party or their families, and the after effects. I mean, it's just horrible, and to see families suffer through the fact that their loved one has died in a motorcycle accident, thinking or hoping that a helmet could have either prevented it or otherwise, and that simple step.
I'm sure you've probably seen that too much.
Well, it's much too much.
I do know that this is just one of the many things that you deal with. People have questions, whether it be about motorcycle coverage or anything else. I know you say, give us a call.
Absolutely.
Your team would be happy to help. There's a free legal consultation, correct?
It's a public service, and yes, feel free to call, and we'll answer any questions you have. And if there's something you're going through, we'll be happy to kind of walk you through it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you, Carly.
Again, there is their info on the screen.